Again, it looks like we've got a computer issue. So for whatever reason, the computer today is bogged down. Maybe there's too much severe weather even for it. So we're gonna take a look now. So Kansas City, the storm has moved to the east of Kansas City now, and again had some hail back in the Olathe area, anywhere from quarter to $half, maybe ping pong ball, maybe even golf ball size hail. They did have it confirmed at 2 inch, or they at least reported it as 2 inch. We're not for sure if that's the wind that they were confirming or the hail. So again, we'll dive into those details as we produce the map that shows where the storm impacted the hardest. But as we take a look at the Des Moines area, this little wind report right in here comes in with 65-mile-per-hour winds. And again, notice how the line almost tries to break up, but it gives these little pocket storms here. And again, that's the area that we're going to focus on. So let's switch to velocity mode here. Again, these individual storms, and they're going to be right in the perfect spot where we're not going to be able to see wind speed with them because, again, they're setting perfectly perpendicular to the radar. So the radar, it just can't tell what's going on here. So again, so let's zoom in, though, and see what we can see here. Let's get close enough that we can see street level stuff here. Get in a little closer there. All right, so that's kind of what we want to see here. So again, right in here, a little pocket potentially of some stronger winds right here where I-80, I-35 come in just to the south of there. And then again, right up here in the Ankeny area, or Ankeny area, okay, so this wind report that came in would have raced right up into this area. So this is what would have caused it. Andrea, let's back it up. Let's watch this progress as it comes over this and then races right up towards I-35 here. There you can see it, comes right across. So here, this was that little hot spot that we talked about, right? It came across, produced the high wind, and then watch as it accelerates forward. So the high wind now, right, and next you can see it kind of redevelop back in here. We also have these pockets right up in here. So these little individual pockets are also areas. Let's go back to base reflectivity. Take a look at what it looks like. So again, you can see we have these storms almost forming these little line segments or clusters here. And these are going to be the areas that are going to be producing the high wind as this storm progresses across Des Moines. Downtown Des Moines, right down here. To the south, we have the I-35 loop, kind of comes around here and then takes off to the north. Here's I-80, again, that loops through town as well. But again, it's going to be this segment, and then we'll go back up to the north here because most of the population is from Des Moines all the way up to the Ames area. So that's where we want to kind of focus. And so we're going to have this segment, and then again, this kind of wrapping around right in here. So if we go back to velocity, we're going to take a look again. Again, so here's the front edge, the leading gust front. So here you have a south wind, a south-southwest wind, so maybe something kind of like this. And then here it kind of turns more directly to the west as this moves in. And again, these are the pockets of the potential wind. This is kind of hinting that the wind is really strong up here on the front. So some of this could be some of the inflow jet feeding into these particular thunderstorms. So we'll have to watch this closely, but look at these little pockets right in here. And these, again, these little couplets, these little, not necessarily couplets, but these little spots right up here by Maxwell, probably some pretty strong winds with that little area in Maxwell. Let's go ahead and go on up towards the Ames area. And there we go, there's Ames right there. And let's back it up and see what it looks like as it moves through the Ames area. We also have a wind report here in Ames. Let's take a look at that too. So check out the wind speed. Again, the higher winds looked like they went through the Story area. Let's see what this one is, because this is up there where we thought those higher winds were. So we're going to query this wind report here up by Story City. Again, 70-mile-per-hour winds with that one. Let's see what the one to the south of Ames was. 58. So makes sense, right? So we have 70 up here by Story City. We have 58 with Ames. The radar shows that. The radar said higher winds to the north, less winds to the south. But this is still severe winds. These are still winds that are capable of doing damage, right? So we have to be very careful with this. Just because they're not as strong doesn't mean they're not damaging. And again, the leading edge right here, heading up towards the Ziering area, State Center, Rhodes, Maxwell. This whole area now getting ready to cross, probably has just crossed over 65, Highway 65 south of Ziering. This area is where the strongest winds are currently. Let's zoom out. Do we have any tornado warnings in effect? Again, we kind of thought those couplets were weakening up to the north, and they definitely are. So now everything, so we talked about in the individual line, they had these little comma-shaped things in the line, right? But the entire line itself is a big comma shape, and it actually comma heads right up here to the north of Fort Dodge. This storm right here has had a history of producing tornado after tornado after tornado. It's been a tornado-making machine out here to the west. This is the same thing that actually went tornado warned on the west side of Omaha, and has just been ripping off to the north. This stuff is actually going to head in towards the Minneapolis area. Do we have warnings up by Minneapolis? Nope. So, and again, you can tell, so there is some wind with this stuff right in here, but overall the thunderstorms themselves not quite as damaging looking. So right now I would say Minneapolis could have some gusty winds for sure, as this line of it probably almost looks like rain, probably turns into snow pretty quickly as we head back here to 29, right? So as it comes around, the cold air comes in, we switch over to blizzard conditions, and just a short 50 miles away, we could potentially have tornadoes. That's how crazy this low pressure system is as it moves across the United States. Basically, it was in northwest Kansas early this morning, now coming into northwest Iowa, and will race off to the north across the state of Minnesota as we go through the overnight hours. Let's go back down to Des Moines. Again, this is the area that we have the high winds. We have a new little, oh wait, that's the 65, I think, right? Just to the south of the radar. So we don't have any new ones in here. And again, you can see that the line, it doesn't look as defined as it did back out to the west, but again, still severe, still producing some 55 to 65, even a 70 mile per hour wind right up in here. Let's switch back to velocity mode. Take a look at what it looks like here. Again, you can see the leading edge. The leading edge is our area of concern. Leading edge runs right through here, all the way down to the south through Des Moines, almost on the east side of Des Moines, again, racing off to the east. We're going to be done with coverage here in about 5 or 10 minutes, okay? Just ripping off to the east. Again, these are the winds out ahead of it, and this is, again, exactly where that line comes all the way down, stretches all the way down into the Kansas City area. So, again, let's go ahead and zoom in on Des Moines. See if there's anything that stands out as we take a look closer into the city here, exactly what we have. And again, here's the gust front right here. So this is winds coming into it, winds coming out. And so right in here, this is the area. Now, we have to be careful. This line of lighter winds is because of the way the wind is crossing the radar beam, so it's not able to see it clearly. But again, still could be some high winds in this area. We're just not able to see it. But as we come down the line again, right in here, potential for some stuff, but I don't see anything too crazy right now. Stronger winds definitely up to the north, so let's go back up towards the Ames area. And that area is really moving off to the east now of Ames. Here's Marshalltown, hit with a pretty big tornado as of last year, I think, maybe 2 years ago. Marshalltown also affected with the derecho. But some good news for some of these folks. Some of this area just really battered by that derecho last year. The wind speeds seem to be not too crazy right now. So, but as this continues to move off to the east, little pockets of high winds, especially where these butt up to this line, that's where I expect to see some of the highest winds. So with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and wind down the coverage here as we see these areas moving off to the east of I-35. Again, the Des Moines area seeing winds in between 55 and 60 miles per hour right now, probably fairly isolated with the severe wind gust. But as this line moves through, not quite as strong as it was when it went through Omaha, and especially Lincoln, where we had winds up to 95 miles per hour in the Lincoln area. So pretty intense winds there. So I am going to go ahead and we're going to wrap our coverage up again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you have questions, anything about coverage, anything like that, please reach out to us. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're more than happy to help you out with that type of stuff and give you any coverage. You can also follow us or call us at 855-334-4245, or you can email us at info@helltrace.com. So again, special shout out to our sponsors, Merlin Law Group, the C3 Group, and also the American Contractor Show. We can't do this without you guys, so we appreciate you guys for watching. And again, if you don't follow our sponsors, make sure to do so as well. Take care, and if severe weather moves into the Minneapolis area, we'll be there to tell you about it.